Today we are talking about procrastination. The reason you are not feeling fulfilled in life is because you can't focus on the tasks you want to focus on. How can you feel fulfilled when you have this dream and aspiration of achieving one thing and you can't even work on it? It seems crazy, right? And that's why you're not feeling like a direction that you want to go, because you can't get started on one because you can't work long enough to actually see results. And you might have a goal, right? You might have a goal, you want to reach 10,000 followers, you might want to start an agency, all of these things, right? But if you can't get started on them, what is the point in having that goal? And the reason for this is because most people try and work on motivation, right? You try and scroll on Instagram Reel to see those posts of people working and like profiting off you trying to get motivation from those videos. You sit down and work, and then one hard thing comes up. One hard thing. And then it all crumbles and you stop working. That is how fragile motivation is. But the good news is I have studied hundreds of successful people, and how they overcome procrastination is actually really interesting. It took me like weeks and weeks of studying to actually find this out, and I'm giving it to you all today in under 10 minutes. All these successful people all do the same thing, they follow the same routine, and it works every single time, which I will share with you today. By the way, I'm Stan, I'm 16, I've been on self-improvement for 5 years. It's been a crazy long time. I've helped transform the lives of over tens of thousands of men using my methods, my knowledge that I've learned over my 5 years of self-improvement. I do this stuff all day long. Anyway, let's dive in. Anyway, let's cut the fluff and dive into the 3-step formula on how you're actually going to overcome procrastination once and for all. The first topic is something not many people speak about, right? It's actually designing your environment to reduce procrastination. Imagine this, right? First day of school, like September, August, depending on where you live. You walk into a classroom, you've been doom scrolling all summer, right? And within 2 days, you're in the school mode, right? The facade has faded off of going back to school. It's no longer like a new experience, right? You're back in the mode. Like 2 days in, it feels like you've been going for a week. And you've probably never thought why this is, right? But if you actually zoom in, like the environment is shaped for you to learn. You have like posters on the wall giving you little sparks of motivation, like winners are the ones who don't always succeed but the ones who try. You have like whiteboards, you have like pens, you have books. You have like the teacher up there, and all the environment is just making you learn, right? And it's specifically designed this way. Like imagine if you could like sit on sofas and you had like a TV, right? You're obviously not gonna learn. So that just proves that what I'm talking about actually makes a real difference, because if you're in a house, right, and one has really unhealthy food like crisps, Cheetos, McDonald's, and the other one has like really organic, natural, healthy food on this side, who is going to eat healthier, right? Obviously this side. And why don't you implement that into your room? If you're trying to be, for instance, like me, like a successful, like information giver, that's how I kind of view myself. Why would I have a gaming PC? Why would I do that to myself? Why would I give myself access to a gaming PC where I can play games? I'm obviously going to be more likely to procrastinate. So I sold my PC because I understand the importance of this. I know, and this is how I prove it. Look, right? I've sold my PC, I've got the script on there. Let me just reposition this. And that's how important it is. I used to play video games for like 5 years, right? I used to play Fortnite competitive, and I haven't played video games in months and months. And now I work like 10 hours a day on this. Yesterday I was like recording the course for 10 hours, doing freelance video editing, and if I still had my PC, I'd still be playing like Fortnite, I'd still be playing like Clash Royale on my PC. I know it's so weird, but I'd still be doing all of that, because basically your brain runs on cues, right? If you don't know what this is, if you've read Atomic Habits before, you should know what I'm on about, right? But imagine you walk into a room, right? It's dark. The cue is the dark room. The urge, you get an urge, right? Because you have the cue, you get an urge. And that'd be to turn on the light switch, but our brains, because it's been so automatic, it cuts off the urge. But for instance, like if you see like some nice food, right, you get an urge to eat it. That's kind of like what it is, like your stomach grumbles or your saliva glands start producing saliva, things like that. And then the action is like turning on the light, and then the reward is being able to see. That's the easiest way to understand habit loop. So cue, craving, response, reward. That is the habit loop. And if you apply this to your environment, right? I drink Pepsis, right? I really like them. And I have these in my environment, right? So the cue, I see these in my environment, and then I crave them like my saliva glands, and I think about the taste that I could have if I just take a sip, and then the response is me going like this, and then the reward is like replenishing my throat and having nice flavour. Don't worry, I don't drink them all the time, I promise. So with that being said, how can you design your environment to cut the cues of bad work and implement the cues of work you want to do? Well, for instance, we talked about the gaming PC example, but let's go into a bit more depth. For instance, if you can see over there, I have my background blurred a bit. You see my bedside table with my lamp? You just see like a yellow little thing is kind of blurred. That's my book. So for instance, I put my book right next to my bed so I can grab it like instantly as soon as I get into bed. I don't have to like walk over here, I don't have to go over here and get my books at my shelf, right? I can just get it right away from my bedside table. And that is proof that I do what I actually speak about. Because a lot of people say, like, this guy's probably a fraud, right? But I actually live what I say. You can see by the book example over there. And then for work, right? You can have your MacBook here. You can kind of have like your phone. You can just give yourself kind of like an entrepreneur vibe. It sounds kind of cringe, but you can big yourself up, be like, oh, I'm kind of this guy, right? I have an entrepreneur vibe. I'm taking meetings and stuff. Just take pointless meetings, right? Just take them, because that's gonna allow you to kind of get into the vibe. Even if you think they're not potential clients, right? You can still take the meetings. You want to kind of like shape your identity with your environment. Like for instance, if I grab this book over here, I have Deep Work by Cal Newport. This just kind of makes me think I'm like an actual like deep worker. I think like I'm this guy. Just give yourself kind of like a mature setup that makes you think like you're him, right? It sounds so goofy, I know, to like the untrained eye, to someone who doesn't know all about this, but trust me, it's super important. Just give yourself a mature desk setup, give yourself a mature room, even though I've got like fluffy bed sheets and stuff, but trust me, they're really comfy. Like I've got a nice like dark lamp over there, I've got like a watch over there, books, plants. I just got a nice mature vibe, and I kind of like, I'm living in this identity, right? Like when you're walking through the street, you'll just have like that feel, like you're that guy. It sounds so weird, I can understand, but trust me, it works wonders. Because if your environment and your identity is suited for the task, you're going to be able to work so well. And this is something I've done over the last 3 months. I've literally been chopping and changing my room to try and get the most results out of my work. And if you want to also get the most results out of your work and have a fulfilling life, I have a free school community which will be linked in the description. Join, it's completely free. We have courses, lectures, text guides, Notion templates, coaching, emails, all completely free. You should join. It's quite small at the time of recording, like 10-15 members, but they're really high quality and it's really good value for completely free. So there'll be a link in description. The next step is making the work attractive, right? For instance, let's say you have like, we're gonna go back to the food example, right? Let's say on one plate you have some celery, and then on the other plate you have a burger. What one are you gonna eat? Obviously, you could be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat the celery because I'm him. just like I told you how to, but just wipe that clean. You're obviously gonna eat the burger, right? It's so much tastier, it's so much more enjoyment. And maybe you might eat the celery, right? Maybe you're really disciplined and you're on a calorie deficit or whatnot. But most people would eat the burger. So just think, I would eat the burger, right? Because our brain does stuff that's attractive, right? That's why you scroll so much. Because when you scroll, you get dopamine. When you scroll, you get enjoyment. And you don't have to think about all the worries and tasks that you have to be doing. When you're scrolling, you don't have to think about the revision you need to be doing for the next exam. You don't have to do any of that. So with that being said, how do you make these tasks more attractive? And this is something nobody speaks about on YouTube. You need to align them with your purpose. And if you don't know what your purpose is, I'm going to tell you in about 30 seconds. So grab a notebook and a pen. Open it up. And then on it, write your ideal day. Like not like a work day or a school day, just write your ideal day. The thing that takes up the most time is what you want to do. And it's that simple. And if you don't have something that takes up the majority of your time, try new things, go on a bike ride, go swimming, go hiking, all these things. And you might ask, for instance, if it's hiking that takes up the most of your day, how do I turn that into a business? Start a YouTube channel, documenting your hiking journey. That's the best business model. It's purposeful, it's enjoyable. For instance, this summer, I've just been working on this like brand, this personal brand, and helping you guys improve. and I've enjoyed it so much, and I'm really sad to see it come to an end. I'm gonna still do it, but I'm gonna have to scale it down because I'm starting sixth form. And that is how you actually enjoy your work, and you can do it for a long time. Like, I work on this for like 10 hours, making a course, recording a video, scripting a video, making a thumbnail, editing the video, making Instagram reels, all of this. I do this all the time, along with freelance video editing, because I enjoy all of it, and it helps me so much. Also, do them for a short time, right? For instance, if you just finished school, right, and you have an 8-hour piece of homework to do, that's quite daunting, right? It's quite like, oh, I don't want to do that, it's going to take a lot of time. So you'll probably scroll for a bit, right? You'll get home, you'll scroll, you'll pull it off a bit, and then it's getting later and later. But what if you split it up, right? Say you have a week to do it, and you do 2 hours a night. It'll be done in 4 days. And it's not that hard, right? You can scroll for an hour, do 2 hours. Simple. Do the 2 hours first, and then scroll. And that's simple. 3 hours, and you would have probably done about an hour of it if you scrolled a bit, did a bit, scrolled a bit, did a bit. But if you actually think, right, I'll do it for 2 hours, and then I'll do an extra hour of scrolling, and it's that simple. Just split it up into manageable chunks. You've heard this all the time. This is quite generic, but just actually split it up. For instance, I do my stuff across multiple days. Like for me, I batch record. Right now I'm recording 4 videos, and then I script like 3 videos, make thumbnails for 3 videos, edit for 3 videos, and I do it on separate days, right? For instance, Monday scripting, Tuesdays recording, Wednesdays editing, Thursdays thumbnail and upload, and then I have videos for like 4 weeks, right? Just do it like that. Just batch, do it in chunks, and it makes it so much easier. Also, a quick tip, just put some music on, bro. Loads of people say it like decreases the shallowness of your work, but just shush. Working with music just makes it like cinematic. It makes you think like you're the final boss. It just makes you feel like you're him. And if that makes you work, it's better than doing no work at all. Obviously, if you're like really advanced and you can work without music, then turn it off because it does actually make you do deeper work. But for like a beginner, just put some music on, bro, enjoy your work, and you'll do so well. So we are on to the final section already. It's been such a great video. I've enjoyed recording it. I hope you enjoyed listening. So the final section is resting. Procrastination often stems from when you need to rest. For example, when I first started my GCSE exams, which is the exams in the UK, I used to wake up in the morning, work on this like content, go to school, revise at school, come home, go to the gym, have dinner, and then revise in the evening, and then do my night routine. Do you think that worked well? No, not at all. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd do my hard work, I'd go to school, I'd work hard, I'd go to the gym, I'd push really hard, I'd come home, and I'd crash, and I wouldn't revise. Do you wonder why? Low energy, and I needed a rest. Don't you think you're a machine, right? This is just not true. It's not true at all. You need some rest. For instance, when I start sixth form, I love the gym, right? I'd literally go all the time. But I'm reducing it to 3 times a week. You might think, why? Because I'm starting sixth form, you need to do revision, you need to go to sixth form, try hard, and like understand the content, and then I need to come home and work on this. And I thought if I go to the gym as well, walking to the gym, going to the gym, pushing really hard, walking home is going to be really tiring, and it's an extra thing on top that I don't need. And I think I could easily manage revising in the morning, going to sixth form, coming home. I think I can manage that. But I don't think I can manage gym as well. So I'm cutting it off. I'm only going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, doing push, pull, legs. Because my GCSEs were an example that I will procrastinate. I won't work hard. So I thought instead of doing that, I'm just not going to go to the gym. And I'm not going to not work because it's like one of my main goals, right? Gym, like, it's all right, you know, I get see progress. I see some progress. It's not like my main goal to have like a top 10 physique, right? I just want to have decent physique, bit of muscles, you know, not be like obese, you understand? Like just kind of like a average to good physique is all I really want. And you could follow this too, right? Loads of people tell you need to go gym 6 days a week to see progress. But if you just push really hard every set to failure on those 3 days, maybe even go for 2 hours, right? So you can do like 12 sets of chest on that one day, get an insane pump, and just enjoy your session, bro. And make the most of it. Don't like scroll on your phone. Just actually enjoy the session, and you will see so much more progress, because in the weekdays you can focus on your work, right? Evening from like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. you can work, and it's just so enjoyable. Just when you're at sixth form or school or whatever, you can just get home and you can just think, I just really want to work on my business. and instead of having to go to the gym, you can just come home, get straight to work, and not feel burnt out. Because you're not going to spread your energy thin, right? You're going to focus on a few things, and that's one of the books I'm reading. It's over there. That's the one on my bedside table. It's called The One Thing, and you're just going to focus on 1 or 2 things, and you're going to do well at it. And that's how you're going to eliminate procrastination. It's kind of like a different kind of video in discussing procrastination. A lot of people don't speak about this, but I hope you enjoyed it, and it's been really informative for me to like recover this stuff, right? Because sometimes I forget about this stuff, and then I record video and I'm like, oh yeah, I should do this as well, right? I'm giving you advice and I'm like, oh, I should actually do this more as well. Like, of course, I've been speaking about my anecdotes, I do it, but sometimes I think I should do it even more. At the end of the video, make sure to join the school community, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, make the tiny changes. Peace.